What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Jessica Diaries. My name is Jessica, and the Bells are back. The Bells of Belle Collective are back for season 7. So let's get into this episode review. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to my channel because I will be reviewing this season. As you may or may not know, I'm from Jackson, Mississippi. So this show is being shot in my hometown, which is rare for us. This is the only show that I know of that is currently being filmed in Jackson. And this is one of the first shows that we've had on national television. I know movies and stuff have been filmed in this area, but as far as a show that is running for multiple seasons like Belle Collective has, we ain't got that. So I have to support this show off of that alone. All my Mississippi folks, y'all know we got to look out for each other because we are the underdog of the U.S. And that just has to change because we're the birthplace for so much. But I'm going to get off this soapbox. I'm so happy to be reviewing this show. You may have caught my season 6 review with my girl Quita B, where we just reviewed the entire season. But I'm going to try to do each episode. So let's get into it. Before we go any further, I really just want to talk about this cast photo because y'all know season 6 went by really fast. Like, I am so shocked that it went by so fast. And then now we have a whole nother season. And some people are wondering if this was actually supposed to be part of season 6, but they went ahead and rushed the show so it could come back. Who knows? All I know is this was very quick for them to come back with another season. That being said, did y'all notice on the cast photo, it's green? And when I saw it, I was like, oh, I love this green. This is perfect. But when I was looking closer, I'm like, wait a minute. Selena's dress looks familiar. In fact, several of these outfits kind of look familiar. I know these women did not get their clothes in the pink and now the green. It occurred to me that they probably just changed the color on the graphic, on the photo. And I'm like, come on now, Carlos, you cannot do my girls like that. I refuse to believe those women had those looks in both colors. Like, y'all had to have edited the photo to change the color. Like, y'all can't be doing it, especially when Carlos is on his YouTube channel week after week after week talking to reality stars from all these other shows when your own shows are slipping like that. Now, I can't do it. Like, we got to do better with the bill. So I don't know if it's that the show needs a higher budget, people aren't talking about it, aren't checking for it. I don't know. That's again why I'm trying to do my part, because I would like to see this show continue to air and flourish. So let me know if y'all noticed that or if I'm tripping. But the episode opens up with Letitia filming her new talk show, with her first guest being Letitia Scott from Love and Marriage Huntsville. Letitia came on and they had a talk about marriage, business, being on reality TV. I actually think she was a good first guest for Letitia's show. Now, she didn't give us any type of indication on when this show would air or if it has aired yet. So I don't know where to find it or see that interview. But I think it was cute. You know, it was fine. Once the interview ended, Letitia and Tisha talked about their marriages, of course, and Letitia revealed to Tisha that she no longer wanted to be under Glenn's thumb. Like, she's basically ready to be done with him. So we'll see if she's actually serious this time. The next scene is Marie at her office with her daughter Zuri. Her daughter's learning the ropes of the business. I love that. I think it's great that Zuri can be at her mom's office and learn some administrative tasks as well. Since we know this newer generation of children are not as socially skilled as we are in previous generations, so that's very good for her. I love that. I love seeing those type of moments on television. So that sweet moment took a slight negative turn when Zuri let it be known that Cedric had just popped up at her practice. So that kind of made me think they must not be living together, or there's an obvious separation going on between them for her to be caught off guard by that. So Marie took that opportunity to share the details of what's going on, or what had been going on with her and Cedric with their daughter. She explained that she saw lots of evidence, anything you can imagine. Well, she said that in her confessional. I'm gonna put a pin in it and come back to that. But basically, she was just kind of telling her daughter what her dad did and this, and this, and he shouldn't treat her like that, and blah, 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 blah. Now, viewers are divided. One side believes that Marie was right for telling her daughter these things for, certain reasons, like she needs to know who her dad was. She needs to know she shouldn't be getting cheated on, blah, 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 blah. But then you have other people who are like, no, that wasn't right. She shouldn't have done that. It was cringe, blah, blah, blah. I feel bad for her. Here's my take. I think that it was inappropriate. A child should not have that conversation with their parent on television, first and foremost. That was not a conversation that should have been had with cameras around. I think that is when reality stars kind of sell their souls a little bit, because you have to reserve something for yourself. And you don't want to ever put your children in positions to where their life experience is shaped by your selfish desire. And in this case, it's to, show your storyline or whatever. I don't think that there was a conversation that should have been had on camera. And I also don't think that it should have been had in the way that she had it, meaning telling certain details and kind of explaining things. And the reason being, yes, it is, you want to make sure your child understands that in relationships, they shouldn't be cheated on by their partner. But you don't want to do that when it involves the parent. I'm just against parents speaking negatively about the other parent to the child, because children love their parents, both parents, especially at very young ages. So when you say something negative about a parent, it can be confusing. It can cause a little stress or anxiety in the child. They can begin to have, little concerns that they really should not have. So I think that there's a way to say, like, mom and dad are no longer together, or we won't be together, without disparaging the other parent. Because the reality of the matter is, y'all issue is between one another. He's not going to be treating his daughter the way that he's treating you. So she is going to have her own opinion of her dad, and it can and will affect her opinion of her dad to know these things about y'all relationship, because she don't know the whole story. You know what I'm saying? Not excusing anything that Cedric did, but it's just not a child's place to know certain details. You can say we not together and we sorry and we still gonna, do what we have to do for you, without saying something negative and, the details of the separation. I think that is better for when she gets older and it's not on national TV. Now, going back to Marie finding out that Cedric has been, engaging in some activities he shouldn't be engaged in, and finding it out the way that she did, because she tells us later, and I guess I can go ahead and kind of talk about that. Well, now I'm going to wait till it comes up. But as of now, she's just saying she found everything that you could possibly imagine. And listen, storyline or not, it is not cool to find evidence that your partner been cheating on you, to see those things. And people are saying, this was fake. It was for a storyline, whatever. She still looked hurt. Like, she looked affected by the things that she could have seen. I'm sure it was pictures, text messages, videos. I mean, who wants to see that? Even if the relationship was for the storyline, she still obviously was dealing with him and has to deal with him. So I can imagine that in a bad situation, finding something out like that is only going to make it worse, and it can be very triggering. So I'm so sorry that she had to go through this. So Carrie is shopping for venues for her birthday party. She visited Sipsy Good Tea. Shout out to Christina. Look, I had to bring my Sipsy Good Tea glass here, and I've been waiting to drink this water, but I'm like, I don't want to lift it before I break it up. Shout out to Christina at Sipsy Good Tea. It is the cutest place ever. She has it laid out so beautifully in there. So many different teas, some specialty teas with Mississippi themed names. She got her merch in there. I need to try to get our candles up in there. But I love Sipsy Good Tea. I went in there and spent, child, I blew a bag, okay? Well, the trip that I got this, and, I enjoy everything. It's the cutest little venue. But I don't think that it was right for Carrie's party. She ends up actually not selecting that venue. But as she's there, she sits outside with her husband. She's talking about her party and wondering what the dynamic between Latrice and Letitia is going to be like. She also kind of gets into their new restaurant, their new location for Brick and Spoon in Mobile, and how it's not doing so good with the economy, and it's really causing a lot of pressure that she wants to kind of be off of her, that her husband will take some of that on. And I'm going to say this. Y'all know I had my issues with Carrie last season and some of the things that she said and even some of the things that she did. But I do think at the end of the day, Carrie is a decent fit. She'd be a great fit if she lived in Jackson. But I do think that she is an overall good fit for the group. And she saved this episode. Let's just be honest. Like, I was happy to see something going on because opening up with Letitia and Glenn just was not it. I'm like Latrice was last season, not this shit again, Glendale. Like, we still going through this with y'all. But anyway, and I also appreciate Carrie being vulnerable about that aspect of business. Again, that's why so many of us really want to see this show win, because there's so much potential to show the building of a business. Now, a lot of people like to throw shade about this show. And I'm going to tell you right now, no Mississippi slander is going to be tolerated, because if you don't live here, you don't understand what, like, we are the underdog for everything when we have immense talent in this state. We have so many people that are doing so many good things. And we're not like another big city where it's easy to get put on or build a business because you got all these potential customers. It's a grind here. It is truly a grind to be in Mississippi and trying to get something off the ground. So chill out with the Mississippi slander and the jokes, okay? Like, I just have to say that. And when you're looking on TV, a lot of people that you see are already established. These are people who are establishing, many of them. Not saying they're establishing every aspect of their life, but when it comes to business, they are establishing, they're in the process of building it to where they want it to be. And I think that's a great thing to show. I think we need more of that because it is more realistic and it's more relatable. I do hope we get to see Carrie navigate this with her business, because I'm interested in how that works. And I empathize with what she's going through, because it is hard to build a business, period. But especially where you're in a place like Mississippi. I know that business is in Mobile, but it's a hop, skip, and a jump away from Mississippi. It's difficult. So these are women that are on that journey. Well, in Carrie's case, she's on that journey to building up that franchise that's all across the country. So I'm interested in how she's going to navigate that. The next scene, Glenn and Letitia go to therapy, and their therapist looks like TD Jake's big brother. His name is Mr. Steve. Glenn said that he's like a godfather to him. And I thought that was interesting, because if you have a therapist godfather, why are you so bad at marriage? Why are you so bad at your marriage? How much of a godfather is he if you still doing all this foolish stuff? Because even throughout their session, he was kind of beating around the bush with telling Glenn, like, sir, you're the problem. Like, you not even thinking rationally about this stuff. You're part of the problem. But anyway, Glenn set up the session because he claims that their marriage, his and Letitia marriage, has been like a slippery slope since the reunion. But Glenn, where have you been? Because it seems like it's been a slippery slope since y'all were introduced on our television screen. So how has it been slippery since the reunion? The math ain't mathing. I thought it was interesting that Letitia, in her confessional, when they showed her arriving at the session, mentioned that she didn't know what the session was about. And I'm like, first of all, I'm married. My husband and I see each other every day. We go to bed together every night. We talk to each other every day throughout the day. If he planned a therapy session for us, I would know about it, or I would at least have some type of indication of what it would be about. So I thought it was interesting and very telling that Letitia didn't know what the session was for. How are you feeling? I guess maybe because she like, look, I'm checked out. I don't know what he want to meet up for. It could have been that. But I don't know. It just seems like y'all like, or made me question how much communication y'all actually have with one another for you not to know what the session was about, or at least have an idea. Glenn basically says that he has a problem with Letitia and how she's handling him in their marriage, like he's not a priority. And this is the thing, wait, I'm going to save it. I'm going to continue going on. He also talked about his issue with Letitia being independent. He doesn't seem to feel like she can be an independent woman and also depend on him. He wants her to be at home, basically taking care of him, taking care of the house. And he feels like all the things that she's doing is basically setting her up, and he doesn't want that to happen. I just feel like, Glenn, you are so delusional. Number one, you said that you've been on the slippery slope since the reunion, when it's really been since day one that we've seen you, with the last several years that the show has been on and the years that this stuff was happening. But also, you seem very immature in marriage in general as a man. You lack a lot of emotional intelligence, and it's obvious that you feel threatened in some type of way, which all turn back to you. Number one, it's childish to think that a woman can't be an independent person, like the therapist said, and still depend on you. As women, we depend on our men outside of finances, outside of career stuff. We're dependent on you to be a safe space. We're dependent on you to provide us with the love and affection. We're dependent on you to be good fathers and to handle your business so that our family stays afloat. Women can do all of that and still have their own and establish their own. I think sometimes men think that when women are trying to have their own money and set themselves up, that it's always because we want to leave them. They don't really understand it from a woman's point of view. Like, number one, we've been raised to think this way all our lives. But number two, you don't understand as a man that if I don't prioritize this, and if something happens, it doesn't necessarily have to be divorce. It could be you get sick and you can't work, or whatever. You got to go away for a little while. Who knows? Anything could happen. You don't want everything to be based off of what one person in that relationship is doing anyway. But in Letitia's case, she does want to leave Glenn. She does. So he's right to be feeling like that. And I think Letitia, instead of playing games, you need to just be honest with Glenn and tell him, like, I'm about to be out of here. I don't think that they're at a point of no return. I think that if Glenn truly got his act together and step in that role of husband, father, protector, provider, faithful, don't have your wife out here looking like a fool, boss up. A real boss take care of home. Boss up. I think Letitia would reconsider leaving him. But if you keep giving her this same stuff, hell, even somebody that take everything gonna get tired. Who wanna just deal with that? And that's why I say I think that Glenn is delusional. Like, all of this stuff points back to you. Now I think, Mr. Steve, you're not a good counselor, because why would you tell them that you still see a strong couple? It's nothing about them is strong couple, and you need to tell them the truth. It's their therapist. And that is why I said you were kind of like afraid to tell Glenn the truth that he caused this situation. He needs to understand it. It's like, right now, I'm sorry, right or wrong, this is not the time for Glenn to be negotiating terms of his happiness. Like, sir, what are you doing to make your wife feel secure, make her feel safe? What have you done to rectify the situation? Have you given her a public apology and changed? Like, you are, like, that's so selfish to me. He's so selfish, and I can't stand it. I don't want to see couples divorce. That's like the worst thing ever. Like, I hate the idea of divorce. I think there are times when it's necessary, when it's time, that is the best decision. But I believe if you have a marriage, you got to really fight for it, because it's up and downs. It's seasons. Life is a marathon. It's a long journey. People change. You got to give grace. You got to forgive. Nobody's perfect, men or women. But at the same time, you got to get your stuff together if you want to maintain this sacred. You got to treat it as sacred and treat it with what it is. And that's why I say ultimately Glenn is childish in his view of marriage, because it's all for him. It's all about what he wants and not understanding that, sir, you created these conditions in which you're living in. This is all your fault. I mean, just last season, hell, 2-3 episodes ago, we're seeing where you done lied about your relationship and things that you've done with this woman that your wife is cool with. And now you next season talking about she don't prioritize you. You're crazy. I don't see how she deal with it. I really don't. So we move on. Latrice and Cliff are holding a staff meeting. And I just have to say this about Taste. That bar manager is amazing. He gives the best service. I have been served by him a couple times at Taste, and each time he's been amazing, gave great recommendations. My catfish was awesome. Taste is really, really nice. They're really nice vibe, great place, great addition to Jackson. But Latrice is complaining about how the girls look and that they're not wearing the red lipstick. And that kind of explains why so many women had on red lipstick one of the times that I went there. But the most recent time, I didn't see that, and Latrice was actually there that night. But hey, if she said wear red lipstick, y'all gotta put that red lipstick on. They kind of move on with the meeting, and Cliff and Latrice are talking about the breakdown in her friendship with Letitia, and it's affecting Cliff's relationship with Glenn. He wants the ladies to actually talk, and this is such a guy thing. When there's no problem with the guy, they don't understand. Like, women are not trying to talk. I don't care. Like, their relationship does seem like it's at a point of no return, Latrice and Letitia's, but I don't think that it's 100% fair for her to make him kind of stop talking to Glenn, unless Glenn has done something to Cliff or encourage him to do something, or something has occurred to where it's hurt their marriage. I do think that he should be allowed to have his friends. That's a bit much to me. Now, would I like it and want them like super buddy hanging out all the time? No. But guys have different relationships with each other than what their partners have with their friends. And we see this on Married to Medicine, how the guys can always come together, but the women just can't get it right. So, that's a common thing. I don't think Latrice should be as strict as she is about that. But she opens up about having emergency surgery for blood clots, which is a serious issue. I am so glad that she came through that. I have my thoughts on what's causing these blood clots, because that's something that we're hearing more and more. But I really hope that she takes it easy and really takes care of herself. Tisha and Marie are getting ready for Carrie's party. So we find out that it's a 90s themed party dealing with poetry, which is interesting. Letitia joked with Marie about ordering pizza. Marie was like, look, I'm going to eat before I get there. And I don't blame her, because last season, everything that had to do with carrying some food turned out bad. So I don't blame Marie for that. Like, just in case, I'm going to eat before I go. So Letitia reveals that she's not ready to see the Bells or be around their energy. And it's really because she's on an island. Marie is really the only one that's kind of dealing with her. I guess Carrie does too, but she was clearly talking about Tambra, Latrice, and Selena, and not really want to be around them because they're in their own little group within the group. But she reveals that Glenn will be there. And I'm like, why is Glenn going if y'all are in such a bad place? Why would he be going and not going with you? That's just weird. If y'all not gonna fake it when he gets there, I don't think Glenn should have been going. But she revealed to Marie that she was drained and she just doesn't want Glenn in her life or that type of stuff going on in her life anymore. And she keeps saying this. But yet Glenn is thinking that she's supposed to be fulfilling some type of role. So it's just given that they're not communicating. She playing games, he being delusional. They just need to be honest with themselves and with each other. And we see that even more in the episode. Marie reveals how she actually found out about Cedric and him still dealing with his ex via his email. And I'm wondering, like, what were they emailing about? Because we have cell phones now. What would you been emailing him? What is it that she could have found in his email? When I found my ex's dirt, it was not in his email. It was on his computer and it was in a hidden folder that I didn't even try to open it. I'm looking for one thing and it popped up. So it was divine that I saw that. Thank God I did. Oh, y'all, I crashed out. I crashed out. Y'all let me know if y'all want that story time. But I'm just wondering, what did she see in the email? Like, was it reservations? Did you pay some rent? What could it have been? Was it a doctor's appointment? A date? What you saw in his email that would have had his ex's name in it? That's just like, what are y'all doing in the email? She said she thought that they were happy, and she was just blindsided by this. But I don't know. People seem to think that Marie is faking for TV, that this has been a storyline set up from the start. But if she's faking, she's doing pretty good. I don't know. I can't say that she's faking. I felt like what she had going on with Cedric last season was real. That's just my opinion. Maybe I'm off on that. Carrie has her party at the Heights. Shout out to the Heights. One of my good friends is the owner of the Heights. I've done different things there before. Beautiful venue in Belle Haven. Carrie's party did look a little dry, if I'm just being honest. I didn't like the theme for a birthday party. That's more of a girls' night or a couple's night, something, not a birthday party. And nobody looked like they was from the 90s. Selena looked like she was from the 80s. Latrice, that wasn't 90s. Letitia tried. Marie didn't look nobody looked 90s. The only thing 90s that I saw was Letitia's friend Shantae that came, because she was kind of dressed like Janet Jackson, Poetic Justice, but nothing else looked 90s to me. But, you know, the poetry theme was cute. It's just not right for a birthday party. I even like that he helped Latrice and Cliff arrive, not in 90s attire. Letitia and Marie actually arrived together like we knew they were. And then Glenn arrives right after them alone. He opened up in the confessional saying he was excited to see his wife. And when they saw each other, it was a little awkward, like, oh, hello to you. And I'm like, what married couple interacts that way? Like, are y'all sure you're still together? Is he living with you? Do y'all live apart? Like, just the way that they're interacting and some of the things that they're saying is making me believe that they do not live together, or they are not really together like that for real. Something just off with their interactions is making me kind of side eye what they have going on. So Latrice gives Cliff strict rules when it comes to his friendship with Glenn and how he is not supposed to be talking to that man, interacting with him, nothing. And when Cliff starts to talk to him, you see Latrice over there like, I know his ass is not talking to him. Like, it was just burning her up inside to see that, to the point she actually walks up to them and she told Cliff, let me holler. Y'all, it is so funny to me. It's so funny to me because she was not playing. She was standing on business about that. She cannot stand that man and his wife. And it is too funny to me. Latrice is funny. She is so funny. But like, on one hand, I feel her. Like, if you just hate somebody, you don't want, you like, look, you got to stay away from me. I don't even want to give you a reason to speak about me. Like, so before I came on, part of me was like, I don't think she should be giving him rules like that. I do think that he's a man. You know, we can't, we got to be careful about trying to run our men. You know, men, they have their egos. They have, like, you gotta treat a man a certain way to get what you want. But hey, she had Cliff in check, baby, because he was like, look, we just finna go. But you can tell that he still wants his friendship with Glenn. The only, like, what I think, other than the fact that she just can't stand Letitia, can't stand, I think she knows a lot about Glenn that she does not want to reveal, and she wants to stay as far away from him as possible for that reason and the fact that she does not trust him or his wife. So she wants to protect her space and protect her marriage. And she's, ultimately at the end of the day, there's more going on than what we can see, right? So on one hand, I do think that she should chill and kind of let the men work it out. But if she's completely done with Letitia, like there's no coming back, she hates her, there are things that have happened outside of what we've been able to see, then I can understand such an extreme reaction. I'm truly kind of torn on it. Y'all let me know what you think in the comments about Latrice's rule for Cliff and Glenn. Do you agree with it, or do you think she should kind of ease up a little bit? I'm thinking about Married to Medicine and just how I have yet to see, unless I'm tripping, I've yet to see any of those wives tell their husband that they can't talk to the other men. I don't think they'll play with their men like that. Like they seem to, aside from maybe Toya, they seem to kind of respect their men and let them be men. But Latrice is actually like, she telling him straight up, you ain't finna do this when he wants to do otherwise. So I don't know. I'm kind of torn on it. But Mike has a poem written to Selena. It was really nice. It was cute. Selena seemed to just be gushing and blushing over it. It was a cute moment. So Glenn decides to recite his own poem again, want attention. He want attention so bad. That's why he a cheater too, because he never satisfied with the attention that he get that he already don't deserve. But he decided to recite his own poem and ended up with egg on his face because he left it kind of open-ended for Letitia to say that she loved him, and she didn't. Girl was silent as a church mouse. She didn't have anything to say, and Marie so bad, she like said. Knowing this woman just said she didn't want this man in her life. And again, Glenn is delusional. Why would you set yourself up for that? Like, you are so, ugh. But that's it for this episode. We see a season preview where it looks like it's a lot of drama on the way, with Mike potentially having a baby out there. That type of rumor got started, which that's not a cool rumor if it's not true. Letitia said that she wants to be celibate. Glenn thinks she's crazy. I mean, maybe she feels like she has to protect herself because you don't know how to keep your peen in your pants. What married woman want to be celibate? That don't even sound right. But anyway, I'm with Glenn. Never mind. I'm with Glenn. That's crazy, girl. Just leave that man. We see Tamra's dad has a health scare. We see Latrice and Letitia get into a big argument, which I'm assuming that's going to be at the end. They're going to drag it to the end. I already know we ain't going to see that till close to the reunion. But that's about it. What do y'all think about this episode, this season 7 premiere of Belle Collective? Let me know in the comments. Give it a rating, 1 to 10. What y'all give it? I guess I'll give it like a 5. It's like just a continuation of the past season. It really wasn't anything to be super excited about. It wasn't bad. I'm just very neutral on this episode. But again, Latrice was that comic relief this episode needed when she told Cliff she needed to holler at him. Girl, that was too funny. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about this review in the comments, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.